And we are following breaking news. SkyCal is over a chase in the San Fernando Valley. All we know right now is that it is a suspect. We understand who has a gun, but we're not sure exactly where this started.
You can see it is in the San Fernando Valley at Ventura Boulevard and Encino, going about 43 miles per hour. Not a lot of traffic on the roadway, of course, this morning because it is a holiday. You can see what a mess the dashboard is of this white van. Again, as Sheba said, the suspect is supposedly carrying a gun, but we don't know what other potential charges the suspect may face. Going down Ventura Boulevard now, Alonzo Avenue and Yarmouth Avenue. So this is going through Ventura. Seems to be slowing down as we come to a stoplight or intersection. Police obviously very close behind. Many police officers chasing this vehicle right now. You can see some of the other traffic on the other side of the roadway stopping to allow them to go through. So at least at this point in time, with not a lot of traffic out there, there's not a lot of opportunity to potentially have some hazards in front of him. Not going incredibly fast, but also not pulling over.
Well, right. The thing is, we always worry when we see chases like this on surface streets, but usually it's because they're going really, really quickly and driving recklessly.
Accelerating a little bit.
He's speeding up a little bit, but still staying under about 50 miles per hour. And as you see, police close by right now doesn't seem to intend to go any quicker.
We're lucky that this is a slow traffic day because of this. This is a lot of commercial buildings and area in Encino along Ventura Boulevard. You see that Office Depot there and some of the other businesses along there. If this was a typical Monday, this would be packed with traffic along Ventura Boulevard. And so we are lucky that there aren't a number of hazards in the roadway, but you can see there are still a few pedestrians out there going past the Black Bear Diner now and some of the other businesses, many of which may actually be closed because it's a holiday.
Right. It does look pretty slow. We're literally only seeing
one other
vehicle, yes, so far in these couple of blocks, really just a couple of vehicles there. And they've gone through several intersections, several crosswalks. It doesn't seem they're stopping, but again, okay, here's one. And it actually seems like they're...
Oh, and he seems to be...
He's
going
going through the light, but very slowly.
So getting off of Ventura Boulevard now at Reseda, it looks like, going past that gas station there. You can see, again, if you're just joining us, this is a pursuit in the San Fernando Valley, primarily Tarzana along Reseda Boulevard now, near Ventura, now going into kind of a residential area. Police had reported this as a suspect with a weapon, potentially a gun. And so you see them chasing the suspect now down some residential streets off of the busy business corridor there. So now this could be concerning because you do have people that obviously here out and about, kind of in their neighborhood. We've got some trees blocking.
Walk. Yeah, a lot of people aren't at work today. Also, in this angle, on the right side, passenger side of the vehicle, there appears to be damage. Now, we don't know if that damage was there before this person took off in this chase, if this even is their vehicle. All we know is that it's supposed to be a suspect with a gun, but police are so close by.
Yeah, they're right on top of them, as you can see, SkyCal, which means there's probably some air support there as well, trying to track this vehicle as it goes down further into Tarzana. But you see also having a little bit of trouble now with these residential streets, all the trees and foliage, and it is concerning. You do see people kind of out and about in their neighborhood. As you said, people could be going for a walk right now. People don't know what's happening, and I'm sure they're hearing, the sirens, wondering what's going on. You have the potential to have people kind of step outside to see what's happening. So you never want a suspect to be in a residential area like this. But still relatively slow pursuit.
Yeah, but we just saw there, he blew through that stop sign. We saw him go through the red light earlier. So it's slow, but it's still not the most careful driving, especially for an unsuspecting person walking through their neighborhood this early in the morning.
What's interesting about these two, once they go into kind of these residential neighborhoods, sometimes there's a connection that the suspect potentially has to either the area or the neighborhood. They know the streets. They know, what's going to connect to. Oh, do we?
Can't see what's happening behind the trees.
Can't see because of the trees, but it looks like those police officers, the cruisers, have now stopped on this side street of Mecca Avenue, it looks like. So don't know if, now getting back in the vehiol. Oh, the car is turned around. Yeah. All right, so must have gotten to the end of the street and turned around.
It looks like officers got out of the car, appeared that the van was going to stop, but...
or maybe they were trying to get out stop sticks or something. Yeah, you can see that window blown out. It looks like a lot of duct tape, but not quite sure.
Yeah, which makes you think that already happened, that they had time to fix it and put some tape on the window.
Just driving around these residential streets, you know, watching here as this pursuit continues on. It's been going on for about 15 minutes or so. It was reported as a suspect. Oh, this is potentially dangerous. You can see trying to get through this intersection. There are some cars out on these side streets right now in this residential area. He seems to be going in circles at this point in time.
The saving grace, as we've been seeing, is that he's not going super fast, even though he's not exactly following all the traffic laws here. But as you mentioned, a lot of times when we see them in a residential area, we see suspects going to the house of someone they know, surrendering oftentimes, or trying to go see family or friends before they stop. And we don't know what the case is here, but they do seem to be focused on such a very small area, which is odd if they're trying to get away from police, and again, so slowly.
Yeah, and sometimes, you know, you see them kind of take some side streets to try to get to the freeway.
Right, that doesn't appear to be what he's trying to do.
And Raina, our producer, you just said something in our ear. Do you mind repeating it for me? So for the Van Nuys Airport. Okay, we're having trouble getting a closer picture just because the Van Nuys Airport is very close to where this pursuit is taking place. So, so far though, SkyCal's been able to kind of keep up here. We're going now into back to Ventura Boulevard, to the kind of business corridor along Ventura. Now back on that at this point in time. You can see him going past the Tarzana grocery. Seems to be sticking to Tarzana again. Not taking Ventura Boulevard to any freeway system at this point in time. You can see some cars parked there. Not a lot of traffic on Ventura this morning because it is the holiday.
I know that is the saving grace, because this car, again, it's going slowly, but you just saw it bypassed all those cars at the light there. It's not driving safely.
No,
but it's also not going at a really reckless speed at this point, and the roads are pretty quiet.
Yeah, which is good news. But as you said, look, just blowing through these intersections, you can see others stopped. And driving sometimes in the wrong lane, so not adhering to any type of traffic device or, you know, any of the roadway rules that we all tend to follow. So you see him continuing. This is potentially a suspect with a gun. You can see just what a mess the dashboard is. That window at some point in time blown out, duct tape put over it. You've got, it looks like a piece of cardboard sticking out of the window, some damage to the passenger side door. We do not know if this suspect potentially stole this vehicle or if this is in fact the suspect's vehicle. At this point, we have not gotten any of those details from the police department. Again, this is a pursuit of a suspect with a gun happening in the San Fernando Valley, specifically Tarzana along Ventura Boulevard.
Now, we don't have the speed here, but it does appear to be going faster than it was before, because at some point when we first started looking at this a couple of minutes ago, the speed was only in the 20s and 30 miles per hour. It does seem to be going a little bit faster now.
He may be gaining some more confidence just seeing how quiet the roadway is at this point in time, and police have not been able to put stop sticks out or do any type of maneuver to get him to pull over. They're just continuing to follow him at this point in time. So he may be building some confidence. That's maybe why you see, you know, the speeds kind of start to pick up here a little bit as he's driving down Ventura.
Or was hoping that police would kind of pull back. You know, oftentimes in these chases, we're wondering if they know that they're even being followed because they're going so quickly. But he has at least 4 or 5 patrol units really close to him. You can't see from this angle, and they have been since the start of this pursuit.
Interesting, the back window appears to have been painted over, so I don't know what the visibility is or why that would be like that. So that's just looking at the van again. The dashboard is quite a mess. I can't tell if that window is open. You've got the passenger side window has damage to it with a lot of duct tape over it. Again, we don't know if this suspect potentially stole this vehicle or where this vehicle has come from. But again, going down Ventura Boulevard, now in Woodland Hills. So we've moved past Tarzana, further into the San Fernando Valley, into Woodland Hills. It has not hit the freeway system at this point in time.
No.
But continuing along Ventura Boulevard there, and there are so many businesses in this area that you hope that people kind of stay inside those businesses, not come out to check out what's going on. There's those police cruisers you were talking about, Sheba.
Yeah, absolutely. And we see those cruisers just right there. He's really not picking up, still going only about 20 miles per hour. We are following this chase again right now through Woodland Hills. They just turned off of Ventura. KCAL News at 8 a.m. starts right now, and we're going to continue to follow this.
So again, if you're just joining us now at 8 o'clock, this is on Winnetka Avenue and Santa Rita Street in Woodland Hills. This has been a pursuit that has been going on now for about 20 minutes or so is when we kind of picked it up. Police reporting a suspect with a gun, and you can see there's a dog hanging out the window there of this van. So, so obviously a police officer is going to want to be mindful of that.
You
don't
wonder
want the dog
if the
harmed.
driver's being mindful of that, and that's why we're seeing such low speeds, even though they're refusing to stop. We're going to bring in Dave Avila now. He's with LAPD Air Support. Thank you for joining us, Dave.
Yeah, no problem. Good morning, Sheba and Jamie. Yeah, this is retired now, actually.
Okay, thank you.
This type of pursuit is, and I know you had mentioned it earlier that the slow speeds and kind of avoiding people. It's early in the morning, hardly anybody's out, even though we may have some walkers. But every pursuit is a dangerous pursuit, including this one, especially since it's reported that this suspect may have a gun on him. So that kind of leaves out things like the pit maneuver. We usually don't do pit maneuvers with when there's a weapon involved. Spike strips, we don't know where the suspect's going. It's very sporadic. Usually they have some place that they'll hang out in, but this suspect has just been all over the place.
Yeah, for a while he was kind of hanging out in Tarzana, but now has moved into Woodland Hills, again off of Ventura Boulevard now into a residential area. Well, from your vantage point and what can you make of the dog hanging out of the window? How will police have to interpret that information?
Obviously it's, I would think it was his dog, but, that just shows you his state of mind. He knows the police are behind him, of course. He's got the sirens going, and he knows that he's wanted. He knows that he needs to stop, and he's got this dog on his lap. That just shows you his state of mind. He's just going to keep driving, and probably has no intentions of stopping. I don't really know if he has any intention, any specific place he wants to be. But he knows he's not going to outrun him. He's driving slow. He has been blowing some stop signs. But there's no sign of desperation, if you know what I'm saying. Thank goodness that we don't see the 60 mile per hour down a neighborhood street, that sort of thing. So, but it does limit the officers on some things that they would normally do, as I had mentioned.
Yeah, and talk about the dangers there with him staying on these surface streets. I mean, these pursuits are dangerous even when they're on the interstate, but when you see it on surface streets, you see sometimes pedestrians crossing the roads, marked cars that are not aware of what's happening or moving, at a speed where they're going to avoid this, anything that could happen in this. It's very dangerous when they're on surface streets.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I had mentioned it before, if any pursuit, and they're all dangerous, I had mentioned, I'd rather see them on a freeway where we don't have to worry about cross traffic, pedestrians walking, jogging, especially some people, like in this case, could be out jogging with their earphones on.
Right.
So that's the one thing that does worry me. So, but the only good thing is that how slow he's going. But, it's always a factor to the officers consider, it's the public safety, the nature of the offense, of course, officer safety, get air support overhead.
He seems to be, sorry to interrupt, he seems to be driving into a yard right now.
Or just going up on the curb. Yeah, there's no
What do you make of this, going up on the sidewalk?
Oh.
Are you still with us?
Yes, I'm actually about 12 seconds.
Okay, you're watching it on a delay. He drove over the curb there.
Oh, okay. It looks like officers did try to put out spike strips potentially, and he went up on the curb to get around it. So he is, as you were talking about his state of mind, it does appear that he is just going to continue driving.
Yeah. And
but he is aware that police are trying to stop him.
Yes, exactly. So he is aware of those. So I don't know if, as I mentioned, the pit maneuver, a couple of reasons. Because of the gun, number one. Number two is they can't see inside the vehicle. So, they can just try and just sporadically, from the air when you look down there, as we can see from our air unit, The streets, the streets are just like a bowl of spaghetti. I mean, they're winding, they're turning, and this guy is just keeps driving.
Yeah.
So, if they can luck out and get a unit out in front like they had there, but obviously this guy is aware enough where he can go around these things. He can see them ahead, so he's not as far gone as we think.
Looks like he's driving now up into a residential area that is surrounded by a golf course, potentially. So we'll have to see what he ends up doing there. On the right-hand side of your screen, just so people were aware, that's what happened just a short time ago when police officers did try to use those spike strips to stop the vehicle and went up on a sidewalk. But now this is the current picture you're taking a look at. And as you were describing, he's winding through Woodland Hills, through these, as you described them, spaghetti-style roadways here. But it looks like there's some blockage from trees and foliage and that type of thing. In some ways, how does that work to his advantage, not being able to see from the air as well because of all the foliage?
You're going to have the units right on him. So in this case, it's not much of an advantage for him. Now, as far as the air unit goes, sure. I mean, if he were to get out and take off running, that would hinder the air unit as far as the description, anything in the suspect's hands, that sort of thing, setting up a perimeter. As far as the officer, the officers are close enough where they can see everything that's going on, and they'll start broadcasting exactly what's going on.
Yeah, we can't see him right now, as we're saying, because of those trees, but there's 4 or 5 patrol cars literally a few feet behind him, so I'm sure that they are still aware of where he is. Dave, what have you made of these slow speeds? In pursuits, we typically see high speeds as they're trying to get away from police. What do you think his end game is here if he's not really trying to get away, but also not stopping?
I think he's just enjoying his last minutes of freedom, and he knows it. I mean, he knows he's going to go to jail. He knows that he may know that they're aware that he has a weapon. Not sure about that, but the end game for him is that he knows he's going to jail, and he's just going to prolong this, and it's just going to keep going and going until either he hits a dead end and the officers can apprehend him at that point. I mean, that's about all we got right now.
We now also have some
strange one.
Yeah, some foggy conditions are also kind of hampering our view from the air right now. However, it looks like SkyCal does see that there is a police helicopter also overhead, as you've been describing, a little bit lower than our vantage point right now. Could be able to see just a little bit better, have a vantage point. The right-hand side of your screen right now that we just pulled up, this is when police did try to stop him with a spike strip. You see there in the roadway, he drives up on the sidewalk and over. So very much aware, police are trying to stop him. On the left-hand side of your screen is the live picture, which unfortunately right now we're having a hard time kind of seeing through all the trees and foliage in Woodland Hills, and where the officers are still pursuing the suspect. We haven't gotten any word yet that has come to any type of resolution. We saw officers right behind the suspect vehicle, and SkyCal was able to see some of their lights still.
Yeah.
I don't see that now, but the pursuit's still taking place in Woodland Hills. This has been going on now for almost 30 minutes or so. Again, initially reported as a suspect with a weapon, potentially a gun. And as we've been talking to retired Officer Avila here, that does change things for officers as to how they potentially go ahead and stop the vehicle. Are you still with us, Officer?
Yes. It was breaking in and out there for a second.
Yeah, we were just saying, we've lost focus of where it is, but the patrol cars are right behind it, and we've been seeing some of their lights. On the right-hand side of your screen is earlier, which we've been talking about. This vehicle has not been going very quickly at all, but it has been running through, as we saw, stop signs and lights. Dave, how does that play into the damage we see on this vehicle? Again, we're not sure if this is the suspect's original vehicle or they hopped into this for the pursuit, but it does have, it seems, some extensive damage to the right side of the vehicle. It seems like prior damage because it seems to be duct taped or already covered. It has some paint on the back. Is it possible this vehicle just can't go any faster?
Yeah, that could be it. I don't think so. I think it could go faster, but with this suspect, I can mention, I mean, he's just taking his time. He's not really trying to get away, as we mentioned. I believe he's just in that state of mind where he's just going to just keep driving and enjoy his freedom as much as he can, especially with that dog on his lap.
Right. Talk about that. I don't know that I've seen a pursuit with an animal. How does that change how officers will approach this if he finally stops or when he eventually does stop?
Well, we just got to see how the dog is. I mean, if it's an aggressive dog, anything, they might have to just hold up and just see if they can get away from the dog. But that's hard to tell at this point.
Right.
As far as the tactics or anything, it really doesn't change any of that. They're still going to deploy on it. It's still going to be a high-risk stop, of course. So it's I think we're, yeah, that fog is getting kind of thick. So
Yeah.
the air unit, the one thing about the helicopters, they'll advise them. The air unit will advise, say, hey, weather's getting too bad. We're going to go ahead and pull off. But it's a different view from where they're at. So hopefully they'll be able to stay right on top of the pursuit, the air unit I'm talking about.
Yeah, we're hopeful for that too. But because of that fog you just mentioned and having difficulty seeing this, we are going to pull away from this right now. Retired Officer Dave Avila with the Air Patrol Unit for LAPD. Thank you so much for being with us at this point in time.
No problem.
We're going to step away from this and bring you other news. But as soon as we get a better vantage point or picture and updated information, we'll be right back with you.